All right, Jeremiah, you ready for this hike?
I'm ready to get to the top of that mountain.
All right, let's get going.
Well, we made it. We're at the top of the mountain.
Whew! This isn't the top of the mountain. That's a whole different ecosystem entirely.
What even is an ecosystem?
This guy is a 6-lined race runner. These lizards live in rocky outcroppings, in open fields, and any kind of floodplain. They're pretty common here in North Carolina. They like to eat all kinds of bugs and pests, and they're great things to have around because they're going to be eating things like mosquito and mosquito larvae, so that's great for us. Like you might think from their name, race runner, they're super fast, really hard to catch, so good luck trying to catch one. This guy, just like you live in a house, he lives in something called an ecosystem. And everything in nature lives in an ecosystem. And we're going to talk about what that means.
An ecosystem is a scientific word. And like all scientific words, it can be broken down into parts. Eco is from the Greek word oikos, which means house. And a system is a bunch of different things. And so an ecosystem is a bunch of different things like a house that all work together. This includes life like a lizard, like we saw earlier, a tree, or non-living things like a river, a rock, or a mountain. And they're all living together in a community, kind of like a family that works together well, or sometimes not so well.
An ecosystem is connected, and that means it's also going to be interacting. So just like you in your home might interact with a microwave and heat up some food, or you might interact with your brother and play some Legos, the same thing, an interaction happens here in nature in our ecosystems. So these trees, they might grow some seeds and drop them, and they might fall into the water here and get taken to a new place to grow. So those trees are interacting with the water. Fish might also interact with the water by swimming around in it, and they rely on the water to live and to breathe. And you also have ferns here that rely on good soil. They need good soil to grow, so they are interacting with the soil. And all these things are connected. They're living together in these ecosystems, and they rely on each other. And that is what makes it an ecosystem.
You know, I think I get ecosystems now. You got the living things and the non-living things interacting with each other, and you got an ecosystem.
That's exactly it, Jeremiah. There's actually lots of different ecosystems on planet Earth, and lots of different kinds too.
What about you, Will? Do you have a favorite ecosystem?
I like the lakes.
Why do you like them?
Well, you know, that's where you find the water kangaroos.
I have a favorite ecosystem too. I love an alpine forest. I like skiing, I like seeing moose, and all sorts of cool things. Last week we talked about what makes something alive. And this week we talked about how all of those living things fit together with some non-living things into something called an ecosystem.
That's exactly right, Josiah. And let's not forget that the creator of all these ecosystems is God. Here in Psalms 33, verses 6 through 9, it says, "By the word of the Lord the heavens were made, and by the breath of his mouth their hosts. He gathers the waters of the sea as a heap, and he puts the deeps in storehouses. Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spoke, and it came to be."
That's good, Walter. The Creator created all things in every ecosystems, and he created every single one of you guys too.
So go on out, explore, Figure out what kind of ecosystem you live in and do some research. Find out what your favorite kind of ecosystem is and let us know in the comments below.
It's been fun learning about ecosystems today, but now it's time for him to return back to his.